Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this video and for spending some minutes with me. Today I want to talk about what I consider the best investment strategy I have ever seen. And let me show you the numbers. So what you see on the screen, basically, you just need to go to that URL. This is a free page, but I guess some of the pages will offer the same details. But what you see here is the gainers for the past 5 years, right? And so the number one is Applied Digital Corporation. This means that this company in the last 5 years has provided an 11,000% return. That's nuts, right? The second one in the list is this one. It's about 5,000%. The third one is 3,346%, and so on and so forth. So if you take the top 10 companies, the return here is massive. This page also provides information for the past 3 years. So if you do the numbers, you just change the tab, you will see what companies have provided the best returns since then. There is also an option to check for the past year and also an option for year to date this year, right? And then month or week or today if you want. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Excel and show you what this means. So let's start with the 5 years, this one here. So what I've done is I've pasted the information here from that page. Let's suppose that you had invested day one $100 in these 10 companies. This would represent about $1,000. And as you can see, today you would have $35,000. This means a 100 return on a yearly basis for the past 5 years on average, right? And this is just an example just to show you that if you use this 100% on a yearly basis, you get to that number. So now if we do the analysis for the past 3 years, you can see that if you had invested $100 in these companies, today you would have $21,000 for a yearly return of 177%. And then the final one here at the bottom is for the past year. If you had invested $100 day one year ago in these 10 companies, today you would have $10,000. And that represents a 935% for that one single year. That's why I consider this one, probably the best strategy I've ever seen. And so a couple of things to consider. As you can see, like I've highlighted a couple of companies in blue. So out of the list of these 30 companies, only Applied Digital Corporation and Atlas Lithium appear in the 5 year and in the 3 year. What this means for me is that probably in order to apply this strategy, you have to do two things, right? One is to do it very early in the year, because at the end of the year, most likely, by the way, this is 3 year and this is 1 year, right? Most likely one of these companies will reach a 2,000 or 1,000 or a 3,000%, like we can see here, right? All these companies are around 1,000%, which means multiplying by 10 your investment, and in this case, multiplying by 23. The second thing to consider is that the companies probably in the first year will be these companies, and then at some point, they may not be in the 5-year list, which means that we may have to pay attention over the next few years, like year 2, year 3, to see how these companies behave, and maybe it's time to either sell that investment or to keep it depending on the return. That page I was talking about, shows you the top 10, but also all the other companies, right? And so with this, what I want to do now is to go back to that list of the top gainers and show you year to date this year. But before that, let's have a look at where the companies will be potentially in 3 years. So this is 1,000%, this is 3,000%, this is 4,000%, right? So now from 1,000 to 4,000 potentially. Here also is 1,000 to 11,000. And for the 1 year, it's 400 to 2,300. So let's go to the list. And here, let's check for year to date. So year to date, we have these top 10 companies. that have already grown quite a lot. Like that is, look, that is already a company that has grown about 2,000%, and we are only at mid-January at the moment. And the others, you can see, 90% to 400%. So this tells me that potentially, if these companies were to match the previous numbers I've shown, would be reaching, those thousands percent. So there's potentially also massive growth happening the rest of this year for this company. All this is theoretical, but the thing is, if you remember, we were saying if you invested in day one, right? So this strategy for me means that in January, we need to have a look at what companies are performing the best. Maybe invest $100 if you can in these 10 companies and keep an eye on them. Maybe check again next month to see if any new companies are in this top 10, and then double check or keep checking them for the year and see where they land at the end of the year. So I hope you like this strategy. I hope you like this video. If so, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, and talk to you soon.